Man, you know what I think? I see a lot of times this happens where this like new streaming thing or whatever will come out, and like I think the studios just think people just automatically hear about the stuff. You know, like let's just say, let's like Echo for instance. I'm not trying to single it out, but like, do the people at Disney, do they just think that like people just wake up in the morning, come out, pour some cornflakes, put some milk in it, and then like be like, let me log into all my streaming services and see what's on them. Yeah.
So, that does ring true. However, again, not to pick on Echo to your sentiment, at what point do you look at the logistics and realize that this show won't do the numbers that we thought? And is it worth it to pump more marketing material into it, or that marketing money?
That's true. I guess the moral of that story, just to nip this topic in the bud immediately, is like, don't make shit that you don't know that people are gonna invest in. If it's that big of a financial risk.
Yeah, but man, that's such a double-edged sword, right? Because
it is.
So often we complain about like Hollywood and these big studio companies not taking risks, and they just do the same kind of generic safe shit over and over again.
That's true. I'll be honest though, in probably the last, I don't know, let's just throw an arbitrary number out there, 7 years or so, maybe 8. Their experimental shit has done a lot more damage to me than their this is the same old shit has.
Hey, did you know that Endgame came out like 7 years ago?
Yeah, it was like 6.
6 years ago? Okay, yeah.
It was May of 2019.
Yeah.
It's like, if you take for instance, like an Iron Man 2.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very safe, same old shit movie. Mm-hmm. I'm not in love with Iron Man 2. Like, I've seen it probably like 12 times though. I don't think it did anything super special.
Besides giving us War Machine and Black Widow, it really didn't do anything that we needed for the MCU to progress.
Scarlett Johansson took her shirt off in the car. That was needed.
I mean, I said besides.
Yeah, you did. Machine, Yeah, that was needed.
But thank you for specifying that specific moment.
Yeah, right. It's important to the timeline, to sacred timeline. But yeah, I mean, I would prefer that over a Last Jedi or whatever Daredevil almost ended up being before Kevin Feige squashed it.
You mean Daredevil was stillborn?
Yeah, right. Basically.
Yeah. I would like to peek into that dark universe where Kevin Feige never intervened in Born Again, when it was going to be like a 22 episode extravaganza or whatever.
Clusterfuck. I know we're going to talk extensively about Daredevil tomorrow, but I was reading that apparently the episodes 2 and 3 of Born Again are like basically how they wanted to start the Abomination Daredevil before it got scrapped.
Episodes 2 and 3, huh?
Yeah, like they were going to kill Karen and Foggy off screen.
Oh, wow.
And then they were just going to go right into, like, they were going to open up with basically the White Tiger.
Hector Ayala?
Yeah.
The White Tiger trial?
Yeah, courtroom shit.
Yeah. Wow.
And it was going to be like they were going to open up into the trial. Like just Matt Murdock is defending this dude, and then, like, we find out more.
What?
Yeah.
What a bold take.
Yeah.
That's a decision that could be made.
I just want to know, man, if, like, this is really the first time that we've ever heard, like, Kevin Feige come in and, like, put the hammer down, pun intended. He couldn't have done it before now. I mean, he had a lot of chances to do it. I mean, I'm glad he did it this time.
Yeah.
If he was going to pick one time to do it, I guess this is actually, given everything we know of currently, this is what I wanted him to use it for.
Right.
But like, is that like a one-shot item? Does he only get one? Like,
that is a really good question. If I had to guess, I would say it's because maybe for the first time his feet were getting kind of close to the fire.
Yeah.
And he realized that it's a really popular IP.
Yeah.
The Daredevil show did really good numbers for Netflix, and he's aware of the fan base, and he knows that this has to be legit.
They ousted old Bob Chapek, and he was like, "Oh fuck!" He's like, "If they can get the CEO,
Yeah, shit, they can get me.
they can get me." And then he's like, "Oh god!" He rushes to his desk, speed dial, do. Kathleen, oh, you're there. Oh, thank goodness. Okay, I didn't need anything. Wrong number. Talk to you later. Bye.
And she's like, well, that was weird.
That was odd. He never calls me.
Goddamn.
You remember when they were going to have Kevin Feige, they were going to have him make a Star Wars movie?
I do remember that.
And I was like, he doesn't have nothing to do?
Yeah. They're like, Kevin, in your spare time, if you could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much do you got to be fucking around with your IP? Mm-hmm. Like, how arrogant is that you're just going to go fuck off to some other area of Disney and make something while you're, like, managing, like, I don't know, probably the largest, most valuable, library of IP on Earth?
I think that I don't know any of this, right, to be a fact. I'm just spitballing, but I assume that maybe part of him and the people that he worked around thought that with the momentum that the MCU had, it could kind of almost manage itself. Like, it could be on cruise control. And we see what happens with that. Like, it's like stepping away from the helm of the Titanic, and then, like, it immediately sinks out an iceberg.
Yeah. It's like, I've never seen a ship just do a 180 like that before. That's wild.
Yeah. Man, in other news, we're getting a sequel to one of your favorite movies.
I know about this.
The Mortal Kombat movie. The one that came out in 2020? Yeah.
Something like that.
The sequel is coming out later on this year in October.
Didn't they get Nicolas Cage or something?
No, they got our boy, oh my gosh.
Keanu?
No. He's in The Boys.
Carl Urban. That's right.
Yeah,
to play Johnny Cage.
Yeah.
Hard pass.
Hard pass.
The first. So somehow the 2020 movie is the worst Mortal Kombat movie. If someone would have bet me on that, like, hey, this new Mortal Kombat is coming out, it's gonna be the worst Mortal Kombat movie, I'd have been like, I'll take that bet. How much you got on that? They would have got some of my money.
I think it's the most unremarkable Mortal Kombat movie. It's like, I remember things obviously from the 95, and I remember a lot from, unfortunately, Annihilation in 97.
Yeah.
The only thing I remember when I think about the 2020 Mortal Kombat movie is the only good thing about it, which is the Scorpion and Sub-Zero stuff.
Yep. And other than that, if one of them is not on screen, the movie is god awful.
And I don't even remember the name of the NPC they made up.
It's Cole? Like Cole, yeah.
Yeah. I don't think he's going to be in the sequel, which, for me, it can't get worse unless they don't have any fights that are cool. It can't get worse than the one that came out a few years back.
I mean, it's like, let's just say that we sit down in the pitch meeting, right? And you're pitching Mortal Kombat 2020 to me, and you get done pitching it, and I'm like, let's just say I'm a movie studio guy. I know what Mortal Kombat is loosely. Like, I have like a 48-year-old soccer mom knowledge of what Mortal Kombat is.
You got a 12-year-old nephew that used to play Mortal Kombat.
Right. Yeah. No. He has like a PSP, and I know that Mortal Kombat is a video game. Okay? I don't even know if Mortal Kombat was ever even on the PSP. All right? And I've been to a GameStop once to buy him a gift. That's my knowledge of Mortal Kombat. So you get done pitching it to me, and I'm like, isn't there supposed to be a fighting tournament in this movie? And you're just like,
well. I mean, if you want to get technical about it,
you had one job. You had one fucking job.
Oh, yeah. It was kind of interesting, right? Because that 2020 Mortal Kombat movie, it skirted around the tournament, but still had them fight for the fate of humanity. And I feel like we just skipped some steps.
Lots of steps.
Who was the main bad guy in that movie?
It was supposed to be Sub-Zero, right?
Well, it felt like Sub-Zero and Scorpion were on their own like little, side quests.
Yeah, yeah.
And then fucking Cole and the remnants of Ryu and the gang were just, I don't know.
They were angel groving. Like I'm gonna tell you, like the whole thing was crazy because Scorpion, like in the beginning of the movie, they make it out like Sub-Zero is gonna be like the bad guy kind of, and, or they maybe it's a twist and it was gonna be Scorpion, whatever. And then they just kind of aren't really that important to the rest of what happens.
Yeah, no. Yeah, it's like they are clearly there, but it's like what they're doing really not that related to, and I'm like, so we couldn't just get a movie with those two?
Yeah. And then I'm like, okay, well maybe they're gonna do like they did with Raiden and Shang Tsung in the original, and like Scorpion's gonna have a team and like Sub-Zero's gonna have a team, and then they go, no, we're not gonna do that either. Okay. You're definitely subverting my expectations here, but you know how we feel about that.
The one positive I can say, other than like this is still related to the Sub-Zero and Scorpion fight scene, so it's all still the same one good thing the movie did. But at least they didn't give Cole the win over Sub-Zero.
Yes.
I would have been immensely upset if they had done that. I can see a world where they do it. But I don't think that he's going to be in the sequel. I don't know who the main character is going to be. It could be Johnny Cage.
That's true.
Yeah.
I would like that. He's my favorite.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. That's one of the reasons I really don't like Annihilation very much.
I was going to ask about that.
Yeah.
So I was going to say, so you must really enjoy the first 3 seconds of Annihilation.
No. I was always a Johnny Cage guy. I always liked Sub-Zero as well. Like
Sub-Zero's been my guy.
Yeah, in the game, like I always played Johnny Cage or Sub-Zero. I was all right with Liu Kang, but I feel like everybody is all right with Liu Kang.
Yeah.
And then you like come across somebody that like that's their main.
Yeah.
And you understand the difference.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like, I don't even know he could do that.
Right. Like I knew he was fast, but that's different.
Yeah. Yeah, precisely.
Well, as much as I know you're looking forward to the upcoming Mortal Kombat movie, we have something of a like to discuss here tonight.
Yeah.
There's lots of violence and gore.
There is.
And more violence.
And more violence.
Yes.
And occasionally there's some stakes.
Occasionally. Yeah. Human stakes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or Viltrumite stakes,
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Well, with that being said, homies, one and all, allow us to welcome you back to a very special episode of the Superhero Homies podcast. My name is Quentin, and tonight I am here with my good buddy, my longtime brother, the world's greatest co-host, Junior, and the homie Caleb.
Oh, man, I am so glad to be back. I have been waiting to talk about this for a while. Especially because it actually really since I watched the finale, I think, and I think the finale was very surprising even to fans of the comics. And we can talk about this when we get to it, but Kirkman did confirm that there's going to be like a major arc next season that he intended to put in the original comics, but he never got around to it. So
I'm very curious to see what that is. Like, I'm assuming it's maybe what was hinted at the end.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is.
Yeah. Because me and the homie Kevin were talking about that, and he was saying that, like, he doesn't remember, where that goes, and I was like, I don't think that's the thing.
Yeah, like, Cecil banished that motherfucker to the underworld, and then, like, we just never saw him again. To the point that I had to, like, Google who the fuck he was.
Yeah. It's Clancy Brown's character, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, guys, we are here to discuss the final 4 episodes of Invincible Season 3.
Yeah, full spoilers for every second of Invincible that is currently on Amazon as of right now. Which so basically the first 3 seasons and the Adam and Eve special, which I missed and didn't watch until like within the last week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I never saw it.
Oh.
Yeah, I completely missed the whole thing.
The whole thing?
The whole thing?
What'd you think of it, of the Adam and Eve special?
I actually quite enjoyed it, but I really like her anyway. There's times where she's my favorite character in the show. Like, it's usually Cecil. But I really like her as a hero. I really like her power set. I think it's like really interesting. It's kind of a mix between like Miss Marvel and Green Lantern, you know?
For me, hell, if you guys are listening, then you see what happens in the finale of this. But for me, it's like a mixture of Green Lantern and Franklin Richards or Molecule Man. Just the ability to completely control and manipulate matter.
Well, I mean her base power set, without her exceeding the blocks. You know, it's kind of like the combo between the two of them.
Well, even like with her base power, she could pick up this cup here and turn it into gold or platinum.
That's true, yeah.
And it's like, why are you complaining about money?
Yeah. Yeah, just create a bunch of fucking money.
Yeah. Can't be that hard.
Yeah.
But yes, so we are here to discuss these final 4 episodes of the season 3. And I gotta be honest, man, all in all, I really enjoyed the back half of this season. I enjoyed the season as a whole, but we'll get there when we get there. But to start off with episode 5, it is titled "This Was Supposed to Be Easy."
Yeah.
This was a really good episode, I thought. Just kind of jumping at some of the broad points here. It starts off with us getting Invincible ink.
Yeah.
Which is always fun. So Adam Eve has convinced Mark to start up this business where they can drum up some money because, again, I guess she can't transmute things into money, even though she can. It's cool, though. And they decide to start up this business where they basically make Mark like what Iron Fist and Luke Cage are, like the heroes for hire,
Yeah.
And I mean, it's a smart move.
This is the part of your D&D campaign where your players just go off and start a business.
Yes. And then, the DM lovingly and excitedly creates a commerce system for it to all work properly.
Right, yeah.
But this was really a Titan-heavy episode. And I think that this is the first time we've seen Titan this season.
It is, yeah. It's the first time we got Titan.
Titan, of course, is voiced by Mahershala Ali, the Great.
Yes. He's so good, man, at pretty much everything. I'll be honest with you. I really would love to see him like a take on Blade, like if he ever were to be cast.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a little out there. Would you?
Oh, it's far-fetched, yeah. But I'm just saying, if...
Huh. I can see it.
Should have never arrived.
I can see Mahershala Ali as Blade. I wonder if Marvel ever thought of that.
Yeah, can you imagine it?
I mean,
you're going to have to.
I love how Marvel they've just kind of gone to radio silence on that.
Yeah, they don't give a fuck. Like, they straight up don't give a fuck.
I guess Feige decided that he could push the button and fix Daredevil or Blade, and he was like, coin toss.
Well, it's like you can't fall back onto Ben Affleck's Daredevil. You can always fall back on Snipes.
That's true. That is true. Oh man. So Titan, he's being strong-armed by Mr. Liu, the guy who looks like an old James Bond villain, and Mr. Liu is basically telling Titan that, look, you need to find a way to get Multipol out of prison for me and the Order. And if you don't, then I'm going to kill your family. He basically says that in so many words.
Yeah.
And, looking back at like the multi-Paul attempted escape scene, the abilities of these multiple characters is pretty fucking intense.
It was wild, man.
Like, what are the physics on something like that? Like multiplying yourself to the point where like the combined pressure burst open a completely reinforced prison door.
I wouldn't have done that shit. That shit seemed like it was horrible.
Yeah.
Even for the one that got to crawl up into the ceiling, like,
Yeah.
It's like, nah, you just think you're gonna survive this,
You're right. Because like once you create a copy, I'm trying to think, have we seen them fold back into like the prime before? Or once they come out, are they always just gonna be out until...
I think they're just out, right? I don't think I've ever seen either one of them like reabsorb.
I don't think I have either. Well, that gets really dark the more you think about it, because we see a flashback of Kate and Paul as kids, and there's a bunch of copies of them.
Yep. Yep. When it gets a little overwhelming, you just gotta
oh no.
It's like, man, why do you guys have this incinerator? No reason. You don't have one in your house?
Yeah, it's to keep warm.
Yeah. It's like, well, there's other things. You know what? That's irrelevant.
But that attempted prison break was gruesome. And like you said, there's no telling that it's even going to work. Like the amount of pressure that has to be pushed upon I would imagine that like the human body would just burst and break and crumble before that reinforced steel gives. But Multi-Paul was he was dedicated, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like you would just continuously, right? Like like you would just continuously get crushed. Like I to the point where like when you spawned a new one, it would just immediately get like you wouldn't even have time to do anything.
And I think I already know the answer to this, but I assume that the prime Multi-Paul doesn't feel all the pain and sensations of his copies.
Oh, there's no way. Yeah. Because, like, he would be fucked.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And then I also wondered this, while this scene was playing out, I was like, why don't they take a page from Marvel or DC and put a collar on them that inhibits them from using their powers?
So they did, though, right?
After this.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, so y'all waited until now to do this?
Well, I guess they didn't think there was any way he was going to break out of that cell.
Well, even still, if he can multiply himself, you really don't want to have to deal with that.
They cast Simu Liu as like the ultimate dick bag.
They really did.
Multi-Paul is such a piece of shit.
Oh yeah. He is not cool.
No. No. Even his name is insanely not cool. He has like the lamest superhero name, like this side of Quail Man.
I would love if it's not a superhero name. It's just, what his dad named him. Oh man! Like, imagine if they did the replicating thing for the first time, exiting the womb. And they were like, all right, you guys are having twins. And then, like, oh, we thought it was a boy and a girl, but apparently there's 2 girls in here.
Yeah.
Oh, no, there's 3 girls.
Another one. Another one. This is a clown car
right
scenario.
In the flashback, we don't see the mom, so we don't know how the childbirth went.
Oh, God. It might have went about like his prison escape. Unfortunately.
Oh, no. Well, man, like, that what's it called? That child tax credit. He was probably cleaning up.
It wouldn't have been worth it. No, not at all. Would you rather? Are they twins? Is that?
I fucking hope so. I've always thought they were twins.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Imagine if they're not twins. You just happen to have 2 superpowered kids.
They have the same ability.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that would be absolutely crazy. So, would you rather give birth Like, just assuming you were capable of it. Would you rather give birth to twins that can duplicate themselves or that egg from What If Season 3? the Howard the Duck egg.
Strictly giving birth to?
Yeah.
I guess I'm gonna...
This is the content you folks came here to see.
I feel like this is not what we came here for. I feel like, get to the conquest shit.
Yeah. Actually, you guys probably don't want to get to that. We'll see.
But I guess I'm just gonna have to machine gun spit out those multi-paws and duplicates.
I got it. Yeah.
Because at least, like, this is the weirdest sentence I've ever said. If I had a vagina, then I would be capable of spitting out.
Yeah.
You know, but like,
and then you could name Paul something cool.
Okay, all right. What would you name multi-paw? Because I believe that Robert Kirkman thought he cooked with that one.
You think so? He definitely did with duplicate because that shit's dope.
Yeah, duplicate.
Yeah. Let's see, multi-paw. I definitely wouldn't go with that.
Okay.
Even
though it's very close to multiple.
Yeah, but no one says it that way.
Yeah.
No one says multi-paw.
Yeah.
If they said it like that in the show, I could see it. But none of them say multi-paw. They all say multi-paw. Like it's supposed to be the most badass shit ever. Or like his first name is Multi and his last name is Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
no.
shit.
No,
yeah.
fuck him. I don't know. Dupla Man. I don't know. Fucking, you know.
Yeah.
Several guys. Several dudes.
Bunch of dudes. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Titan, he tries to talk with Mark. And, you know, the last time that he and Mark spoke, Titan kind of sort of betrayed him.
Kind of, yeah, I mean.
And Mark is still salty about that.
He did kind of try to get him to, not try. He did kind of help him take over the criminal underworld.
Mm-hmm.
But in Titan's defense, man, he's right, you know?
Yeah.
Like, he really has cleaned up this area of the city. Like, crime is a lot less rampant and shit than it was before under fucking Machine Head or whatever his name is.
Machine Head. Which, by the way, I love Machine Head.
Yeah.
Every time Machine Head is on the screen in this episode, he's golden. I love every moment that Machine Head's on the screen here. He's great. He
is really good in this season. I didn't like him as much previously, but I really enjoy him here.
It's like I listen to like what he says and how he says it, and it's all so aggressive and angry and hilarious.
Yeah.
I almost wish that Bill Burr had voiced him.
Yeah. It would be very apt.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, so Machine Head at one point has a sit down with Titan, or I should say the other way around, because Titan goes to prison to visit Machine Head because Mark declines to help Titan because there's no way he wants that psychopath multi-paw free again.
Yeah.
And Machine Head really doesn't give Titan any kind of help because why would he? Like, that was really a sign of desperation there. Long story short, Mr. Liu, he's had enough, and we've heard rumors of this supposed dragon form that this man can assume. And that shit was real.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, as soon as they started talking about it, you're like, oh, well, he's definitely got it.
Yeah.
And that shit was wild.
Bruh.
So, if this is, I don't want to veer into like spoilers beyond the show territory or whatever, but I gathered that it was a whole thing where like if you destroy his body, it fucks him or whatever, but like the dragon form can basically respawn out of his body. Yeah,
so me and Kevin were talking about that, and I couldn't remember exactly how it functioned. I couldn't remember if he actually transformed into a dragon himself.
Yeah.
In the books, or if it was something like this in the show, and they needed to give him like more of a definitive weakness. So yeah, I don't remember.
Because he was batshit crazy in the show.
Oh yeah, I mean, if I could do what he could do, I'd probably be a little crazy too.
Yeah,
and especially if I had that kind of bodyguard, Great Wall.
Great Wall.
Yeah.
Just slightly racist.
It's just a little bit.
Yeah,
right?
just a little bit. It's like they let Eric Cartman name this one character.
Oh, yeah.
He's a big motherfucker though. So.
He is enormous, and I thought that motherfucker died in this episode. He was still alive.
Yeah.
How insane was that? But yeah, Mr. Leo, he does assume the form of a dragon, and Invincible Inc. gets their first call.
Yeah. Fuck this, man.
Bruh.
Just go ahead and shut the business down.
You know, there's a point in this fight scene where Mark says we should have asked for more money. How much money should they be charging? Like, should it be like a flat rate or like it depends on what the job is type deal?
I think if they're setting it up the way that this prison is, I think there needs to be like tiers of like how fast do you need us to get there? And if you want like the on-call 24/7 like this prison has, I'm going to say a cool like $500K a month.
See, yeah, that's more like it.
Yeah.
I imagine they were charging 4 digits.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Give us like $5,000. They
Yeah.
were like, okay, that's like a couple sections of fence.
Right. And then on top of that, when Eve was first meeting with like who I guess is the prison warden or the person who was in charge of the complex, you know, Eve says your first call is free, and I'm like,
No. No, especially since this was some bullshit.
Bruh, of the highest variety.
I think I might would have rather fought Conquest or one of the Invincibles or.
I mean, as it is, Mark got fucked up less in this fight than he did with like any of the Viltrumite fights.
That's true. But like his opponent took basically no damage.
Yeah. 0 damage.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, man, if it wasn't for Machine Head, who knows?
Yeah, because Mr. Lou was not letting him get away.
No, absolutely not.
He pissed him off.
Yeah. And what is the name of the guy who teleports? He's got the letter I on his shirt.
Shit, I can't remember.
Oh, man.
I doubt he's on IMDb.
Probably
not. With this show, Isotope.
Isotope,
yeah.
There we go.
He was on here, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you know, when they pull the old switcheroo, you know, and then we get Titan who frees Machine Head, and Machine Head goes and with Isotope, and they go back to the plaza where Great Wall has Mr. Liu, and Isotope teleports Great Wall however fucking high into the sky. He just plummets.
Butterfly in the sky.
Bruh, if butterflies flew like that, then it'd be dangerous. And I was thinking, oh, wow, yeah, they just killed Great Wall. Nope.
No. We don't know what his power set is.
That's true. He's a Great Wall.
Apparently he can just bounce.
Yeah. But then Machine Head pulls the trigger on Mr. Liu's head, and bada bing, bada boom, he is out of here. In the nick of time, too. Because Mark was about to get fucked up.
They should have just dissolved that body in acid.
Oh, yeah, for sure. They should have.
That's actually a recurring theme here for almost every one of these episodes.
It is, yeah. Like, we could have saved ourselves so much trouble.
If we had just dissolved this body.
Right. Yeah, and whatever you do, don't let Cecil get a hold of any of these bodies.
Yeah. and I like the arrangement that Titan here, makes with Machine Head, where he's like, "Listen, you can go deal with what's it? It's not the council. It's
the order.
The order." And but like I'm splitting off. Like the city is mine. Y'all do whatever the fuck you want elsewhere.
Yep. And Machine Head agrees to it. I love how like none of the other supervillains have any lines.
No. Nope.
It made it even more hilarious because there was the one guy, you couldn't miss him. His eyes were like peeled open.
Yeah.
And he just looked like a fucking maniac.
Yeah. Was that the guy that Machine Head was like, if you turn your back on me again, I'll fucking kill you? Or whatever.
Probably. I think so.
Yeah.
Uh, Also in this episode, I guess the B plot of this is we see Oliver, and he's having somewhat of a social life. He's out playing with other kids, and
Yep.
It was very risky for Mark and Eve to just kind of stand by the sidelines and watch when those bullies came up.
Yeah.
Dumbest bullies, by the way, which is a great feat because there's a lot of dumb bullies out there.
Yeah, they are incredibly lucky that they have their kneecaps.
Oh, that they have their lives.
Yeah, their sternums. Any of that shit.
Yeah. Because Oliver don't give a fuck.
No. No, he could have murdered all three of them effortlessly.
Oh, yeah. And that's why, we know that Oliver now, he didn't kill those teenagers. But he could have.
Yeah, and I totally thought he was about to.
Right. And then what would Mark and Eve do?
Mark is not a great superhero.
What?
Mark is not even necessarily in my eyes in this season. I don't consider him much of a hero for most of the season.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, man. Mark is selfish as fuck in this season. We talked about this in the first half. Mm-hmm. But if you look at this first episode right here, so he goes out, heroes for hire and for money when, he's a motherfucking Viltrumite. He's then already split off from Cecil, so he doesn't want to have anything to do with the actual Earth's organized defenses, and which is what his dad said. His dad's like, oh well, I don't want to be a member, I don't want to join up, but I'll come help out whenever, and then he murdered everyone.
Well.
And then you got this example where he set several bad examples for Oliver, and then you have this where he stands back while he completely could have murdered these children.
He was gonna step in, but Eve told him to hold back. And let's see what happens.
Yeah, well, Eve don't know about all the fucked up little shit that this little maniac has been doing.
I don't think that you are giving Mark and Oliver the credit they deserve for being such outstanding people and heroes and protectors of the great world they live in.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
I just want to, we'll revisit that in a few episodes.
Okay. All right. We don't have to, but if you want to,
Yeah, I think we should.
If there's time.
Yeah, sure.
The other thing that happens here is we see Shrinking Gray and Rex. They have a dinner date.
I actually really enjoyed their plot line.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, I don't like Rexplode ever in this show at all.
So what's funny, right? I remember watching these, and I was talking with the homie Kevin, and I was like, what's so interesting about this is, one, Rex was supposed to die ages ago.
Yeah, way early.
Yeah, and he's still here. And two, Shrinking Ray in the comics has nothing to do, and is a dude. And I'm like, Rex is kind of the same, but he has more to do in the show.
Yeah.
But Shrinking Ray is way better here in the show than in the comics, where, in the comics, they just needed a stand-in for the Atom or for Ant-Man. Yeah. So, way better here. And it was cool to see them get something to do. But you know how it is with superhero properties. As soon as they start having kids or falling in love or
any of that,
it's kind of the kiss of death, Yep. You can't be too happy in these scenarios. So that is kind of it for episode 5. This was supposed to be easy.
I love the episode titles this season.
Yes.
They're all really, really well done.
Mm-hmm. Episode 6 was a real standout here amongst the season.
Yes.
All I can say is I'm sorry.
Man, let me tell you, when I saw the preview for what this episode was going to be, I was kind of like, this isn't really going to move the plot forward. This is going to be filler, blah, blah, blah. I love this episode. I think it is either 6, this one being 6 or 7 are my favorite episode. It's probably this one though for this back half.
Yeah.
Because I really like 7 too, but this one I think this episode encapsulates a lot of what people really love about this show. It's really dark. I mean, not all the show is dark, but most of the show is pretty dark. It's very gritty. And there's great action and a great cast. Yep. And also, I mean, it doesn't hurt here that we have Aaron Paul guest starring. And like, we talk a lot about how the cast of the show is just perfection, and they really are. And, like, getting Aaron Paul to play Powerplex was such a fucking incredible choice.
Yes.
Because he just has that way of putting that, like, anguish into his voice that you feel it. You have no choice.
You know, he can't keep getting away with it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I love this episode, too, man.
Yeah.
I thought it was really something special. You can't ignore, like, the parallels. Obviously, this was taken from the pages, but, like, the dramatic flair of how this was put together, that was Man of Steel and BVS.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. I was talking to Kevin, and I was like, am I crazy? Or he was like, no. But it's great. I was like, yeah, I see that.
Yeah, they actually, I think, so there was 1 year, and I think it was 2016, where we got a fuck ton of Collateral Damage movies. We got Civil War, and we got BVS, and then there was something else.
Yeah. That whole era around then was a lot of destruction.
Because the superhero craze had, like, really taken off, and then 2012 and what was it, 2015 with Age of Ultron. So, like, it was like, there had been all these movies, and then people kind of peeled it back and were like, man, the Earth in both of these fictional universes has been real fucked. And that's when we kind of started getting into, like, some more of, like, how does this actually affect the people on the ground?
Yeah.
And they cover that to various degrees. I think it's easy to say that DC just completely flubbed it. Marvel did okay. And then we had this episode, which I think knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
And Invincible has done that a few times. I think the episode where this shit originally happened did a better job than Marvel or DC did with it.
Yeah. I mean, just from, like, the human perspective of it, of, like, the sheer trauma and terror of it all. Yeah, this show knocks it out of the park. Now, in terms of, like, how it actually handles the cleanup, that's always TBD.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is very interesting, right? Because they added a couple of layers to Powerplex that weren't necessarily in the comics, not that I remember from them. But they did add layers to him to make him even more of a sympathetic character.
Yeah.
And I thought it was very effective. I think it was it his sister and his niece who he's with in the beginning?
Yeah, so his sister and his niece get killed.
Yep.
And, he's got a wife and child, and his wife is basically 100% behind him in this, like, Invincible is the devil crusade.
Yeah, it's almost it's what I would call, like, terminal stage Stanism,
Yeah.
Like, there's 4 verses in the song Stan, and, like, in each verse is progressively worse.
Yeah.
Until you get terminal Stanism.
Yeah.
In which case, there's no coming back from this. And that's kind of where he starts at, like, stage 3 Stanism.
Yeah.
But he is such an interesting character because we see that within that time frame of him really getting an interesting bird's eye view. Maybe interesting is the wrong word, but he gets a really unique bird's eye view of his sister and niece's death that really traumatizes him. And from his POV, it looks like worst case scenario, Mark did this, and best case scenario, Mark didn't do it, but is uncaring.
Right.
And is, in a roundabout way, responsible for all of this, which is his point. And we see that he has a job. Who is he working with? What's the organization?
It's Cecil's organization. It's
the
GDA.
Yeah, something like that.
And you know, just on the fuck Mark bandwagon, it's hard to argue with Powerplex about Invincible being uncaring about the scenario, because when Powerplex first goes out and starts like fucking up the town trying to get him to come like stop him, he's like, someone else will handle it. It's all good. I'm on a date.
Yeah. But in Mark's defense, I don't think he hears him call out Invincible by name.
He doesn't. No. No.
And you know, it's like it's like some other guy, you know.
That's true, but
anyone can go handle this.
But it's like right down the street, you know? And for the record, like Cecil's got to be like, all right, who can we call in? He's got to get on the phone. He's got to call somebody. And like, we're going to send Robot and fucking Monster Girl down here. They got to like fly there or get teleported or whatever. But you know, whatever. Mark could have just like flew down the street, backhanded this motherfucker, and like gone back to his date. 10 minutes tops.
Okay. I don't think that's entirely fair. Mark has earned some PTO.
Okay.
How mad do you get if your job calls you and you're on vacation?
PTO, he quit.
That's even worse.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah. Like, hey man, we know you quit, but
God damn. And I love what they do with the title card here when they have Powerplex. You know, he's having to stand up for the cops, and he's calling out Invincible, and every time he says the name, the title card pops up.
Yeah,
that was pretty good.
I loved that. Yeah. I was rolling. It was so funny.
And then Shapesmith shows up, and they do battle. And now, thankfully, Shapeshift I knew was very durable, so I was like, he's not gonna die here, and then he didn't.
But he also didn't stand a chance either.
He also didn't. You know?
Yeah, this motherfucker stole some crazy experimental technology from Cecil that apparently they can't remove without killing you.
Yeah, which is problematic. They probably could have had he not inserted it into his fucking spine.
Yeah, yeah. If it were just like the other ones, like the shoulders or whatever. Well, that begs the question then of why they didn't just take those out. If that's true.
That's true, because you have to imagine that each one amplifies the effect of like the kinetic absorption.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, that whole thing was wild.
He's lucky it ain't me, man. Because if I'm Mark, the first thing I'm doing when I see them shits is I'm pulling one out.
That's facts, though. Yeah, same.
And then when he drops, I'm gonna be like, I got him.
Yep. Yeah, and this wouldn't help Mark, especially in your eyes, but I would rip one out of his arm and then rip his arm off. I mean, mentally helping myself by dismembering him, you know?
Yeah, I mean, Soups had to do it, you know?
Yeah. So, it happens. It happens all the time. Bookie had his arm ripped off, you know? Yeah. So, Shapesmith and Powerplex, they have somewhat of a fight. And man, Powerplex, he's already so far gone, you know. And it is one of those things where it's like, yeah, he does have like valid points, and he's so angry and frustrated because no one will help him.
Right.
He's tried going through legal means. He went and he got the signatures, and he went to the right legal people and tried to do things the correct way, but no one would listen. The issue here is that like he becomes so absorbed with this, you know, with this whole idea that Invincible is the problem and Invincible is the bad guy, that he can't really see the forest for the trees here.
Right.
And also with a lot of people like this, they have no accountability, and that is also a really big problem with Powerplex.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because he's not thinking about any of this shit. And how, like, his role in the stuff. I mean, obviously, you know, you see him sitting there watching the clip of Omni-Man holding him in front of the train.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, there wasn't a whole lot he was going to be able to do. You know?
Right. Yeah, so I don't even really know what he thought of that, but I guarantee you in his mind he came up with some delusion as to why that is definitely Invincible's fault.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
It's a good thing that Angstrom Levy never got his hands on this guy.
Oh my god. That's all we need.
Oh, yeah, it might be a different story if he did.
Yeah, that's true, man. Angstrom, with whatever fucking technology he's got.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or as Kevin put it, whatever warlock pact he has to make at the end of the next episode.
Yeah, right? Jeez. Angstrom is a man on a mission. You think Powerplex. You think it's Powerplex, man, but Angstrom Levy is... That motherfucker's diabolical.
Oh, he is determined.
Yeah.
Yes. Holy shit. Yeah, so the Shapesmith fight doesn't really go the way that Powerplex wants it to because Invincible doesn't show up.
You gotta be kidding me.
You gotta be kidding me. Dear Mark, I wrote you, but you still ain't calling.
You still ain't calling.
So fast forward here a little bit, we get the memorial scene where apparently it's been 1 year. Is that all it's been since the Chicago incident?
It's gotta be more than that, right?
Well, actually, when we get the flashback, don't they say? Does it say 1 year later?
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's crazy, man. It's been a busy
crazy.
year,
right? It's been a fucking shitty year, man.
Yeah, it's about to get way worse.
Right. That's the crazy part. It gets worse before it gets better. Yeah. So it is I suppose the 1 year anniversary of the what do you call it? The Chicago disaster.
Yeah.
Yeah. Massacre sounds too morbid, even though it's very descriptive.
They got to be able to name a sports team after it.
Oh no. There's the Omni Splats.
Well, you know, Chicago's got the Chicago Fire.
Yeah. And that's also fucked up.
Yeah.
You know.
New York's got the Jets. So, you know, they got to be able to name something after it.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and mute this mic right here.
So, yeah, like the Omni-Mans or whatever, the Viltrumites.
Oh, no. Oh, man. But it's during this scene here. Also, really quick about Paul. I had this to say about Paul the other night when watching this episode. Paul is like Jerry from Rick and Morty if Jerry wasn't so annoying.
Yeah.
And wasn't quite so dumb.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I don't think Paul is dumb. He's just a normal dude.
Yeah.
And, man, like, I don't know how good it is to date Debbie, but it must be damn good to stick around, like, despite the circumstances, you know.
That's true.
Because I think I might have to be out.
I have to be out, yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, I'll be honest, man. I really ain't trying to follow Omni-Man.
Yeah, in any regard, right. And, you know, like, man, like, it's enough baby daddy drama out there as it is.
Right.
I don't know if you ever had to deal with, like, a crazed baby daddy.
Yep.
Okay.
A couple times.
Okay. Yeah. Now, imagine if that crazed baby daddy is Omni-Man.
Yeah, it's a world-destroying, fucking superhuman, extraterrestrial threat.
Yeah. And I was supposed to step in front of Debbie and be like, hey, mister.
Yeah. Hey, man. Why don't you chill the fuck out, dog? Maybe you should pay your child support.
I ain't no pussy on this planet.
No.
Good enough to get me to do that shit, bro.
Not Nairn. Not Nairn.
I won't even look that motherfucker's direction.
No, I don't want to be on the same planet as Omni-Man.
No, absolutely not.
The only way I want to be on the same planet as Nolan is if, like, other Viltrumites are coming after me and he is my protection.
Yeah. Oh. So it's here at this memoriam where Powerplex shows up again. And he starts reading off the names himself. And he calls out Invincible again, and this time Adam Eve takes charge. Apparently, she is much smarter than Shapesmith because she figures out pretty quickly, hey, I know how your powers work, man, so I'm not going to hit you.
Yeah. Shapesmith was not putting that shit together.
He wasn't getting it.
But, Eve also, understands motherfucking science and physics and all that shit on, a ridiculous level.
Yes. Yeah. So that helps, too, a lot. And she's actually able to get the best of Powerplex here. And then she leaves the cleanup to the Guardians of the Globe so they can go handle that. And they fuck it up.
The Guardians is really the B team right now.
Right? I mean, let's be honest, man. The Guardians were always kind of the B team, but they had Nolan.
Yeah. Yeah, but at least the A-list roster for the Guardians was
it's true.
Cool.
It was top notch.
Now they have Immortal, and then there's a long drop to Duplicate and Monster Girl and Robot, right. And then there's everyone else.
And then there's kind of everyone else. They got Bulletproof, who hasn't really done a whole lot yet.
Yep. Samson.
Yep, they got him.
Yep, he's there.
Yeah, he's also there.
They got Rex.
Hey, but they're not part of the Guardians anymore.
Oh, that's right. Him and Shrinking Ray leave around this time.
And Robot and Monster Girl, they also left, didn't they?
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess I maybe forgot about that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they decided to leave as well. But they do have what's his name? Darkwing?
Darkwing 2?
Yeah, Darkwing 2.
Yeah. The first Darkwing got fucking rocked.
So apparently, I guess in that one episode 1, all of the Guardians of the Globe were voiced by Walking Dead actors.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. Robert Kirkman did write both of these materials. So
yes.
It tracks.
We'll talk about that a little bit more in a bit.
That we will. But yeah, so Powerplex, he's been taken away, probably headed to the super secure prison place that Cecil has control over or whatever. Yeah. And then Powerplex remembers, oh yeah, my powers work off of kinetic energy. So, he's able to gather enough kinetic energy by banging his head against the back of the truck.
Yep.
That he's able to produce enough energy to break free. And that he does. And so this motherfucker's free. Again. Also, in the meantime, Rudy does make the special belt for Amanda that stops her.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really, really cool.
Stops her aging. Or de-aging, rather, when she turns into the monster.
Yeah.
Which makes her superpowers a lot cooler.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He's like, okay, now starts the timer. Mm-hmm. We can actually, hook up eventually.
Yes. This is just a very, very extremely mild spoiler from the comic books. It's just more of a fun fact. Consider it that. Monster Girl, that is, I guess, an accurate description, but the monster is actually male that she transforms into.
Yeah. He's a monster and she's a girl.
Yeah.
Monster Girl,
yes. Yeah. So the name is very apt in that regard.
How old, do we know how old she actually is?
I think she said 28.
Oh, okay.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, their whole thing is real weird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, their relationship gets very interesting.
Oh no.
And I am very, very much so looking forward to seeing how it plays out on the screen. Yeah.
And the public's reaction.
Very much so looking forward to it. It is one of my favorite things about the Invincible comics, though, is their dynamic and where their story takes everything.
It is really cool. I actually really like Robot.
Yeah.
I wish that he got some more screen time this season, but also he's voiced by Zachary Quinto, who is fucking awesome. So
that's right. I forgot Zachary Quinto voiced him.
Yeah.
All right. So we get I was going to say the rematch, but this is the first time that Mark and Powerplex actually fight.
Yeah.
It just feels like a rematch because Powerplex has been talking shit the whole time.
And the way this goes is so fucking tragic.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Like I said, man, stage 4 standism, it never goes well.
Oh yeah, because he goes completely apeshit, almost kills a bunch of people. Then he actually does end up fucking incinerating his wife and child.
Yeah.
And then he manages to somehow instantly blame Invincible for it.
Right. Like, immediately.
You motherfucker, I told him you were a monster.
Yeah. Invincible's like, I got my ass beat too.
Yeah. He's like, I wasn't even over there.
Yeah. You were actively beating my ass when it happened.
Yeah.
Oh, man. And Powerplex does eventually... He's burned out, isn't he? And now Mark finally...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mark finally, he gets out of all of his energy, and then Mark just... It's like, well, fight's over.
Man, the other crazy thing about Powerplex is like, you would think that the reality of what he's done sets in like the psychopath version of post-nut clarity, but it never comes.
God damn it. That was really good. I can't even deny you that one.
Yeah. So they do put him in like the Supermax facility, and he's restrained and all that. It's like a pretty shitty existence.
Yeah, man, because he like can't move at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck that shit.
Like, man, I gotta pee.
You know they got a catheter in there.
Oh, okay, well, never mind. There it goes. Yep.
You must ain't never had one before, because that's definitely not. Well, never mind.
Oh, I have had one, and not only have I had one, I didn't know they were gonna put it in there.
Yeah, that's the absolute worst.
Bruh.
Yeah, when it's a surprise catheter.
The surprise catheter.
Yeah.
Yeah. 0 stars. Do not recommend.
Yeah. No.
And that first piss after the catheter was also
awful.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't have to go into that.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna get into some more gross stuff anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But Mark does have a heart-to-heart, or he attempts to have a heart-to-heart with Powerplex. Powerplex is still on that bullshit, man.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, well, like, they're gonna make up whatever. No, he's insanely more deranged. He kind of reminds me of the kid in fucking Chronicle, the one that goes crazy.
Oh, Dane DeHaan's character.
Yeah. I can't remember Dane DeHaan's actual character name, but yeah, it's very reminiscent of that, man. It's like once he steps off that ledge, there's just no coming back.
Yeah. He's too far gone.
Yeah,
and like him just totally disassociating from the fact that he killed his wife and child. Like, there's no coming back for him. Because for him to come back, you have to face the reality of what he's done.
Yeah.
And I don't think he can.
Yeah, I mean, the crazy thing is, man, he could have just sat at home with his family.
Yeah, he could have.
But...
Yep. And to what degree, it's not, I don't mean to victim blame, but to what degree do we have to blame the wife for? The kid is innocent here.
Yeah, the kid's innocent. The wife is real Skylar White here. Except, unfortunately, Skylar didn't get burned to a crisp.
Oh, man. Could you imagine?
I have several times. But yeah, man, this is... You look at this scenario, and she's really an enabler here. Mm-hmm. And at some point, you're like, okay, well, she's going to be like, don't you think you're taking this a little too far? And then she's like, no, they're going to have the memorial. He's going to be there.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, the whole thing, and then like allowing him to like tie them up and like all this other shit. I mean, putting your kid in immense danger. Like, why the fuck did the kid have to be there?
Right.
Like, you couldn't have like got a babysitter. Like, what the fuck, man? It's all just so ridiculous how obsessed they are. And I mean, we see. I'm not trying to down it and say it's unrealistic, because unfortunately it isn't. Mm-hmm. There's people like that in our society all the time that are just become so fixated and so obsessed with something that they can't see anything beyond it.
Yeah, and shit is tragic, man.
Yeah.
It is. And it is tragic here. This is not the last we see of Powerplex.
No.
As a matter of fact, see him next episode.
Next episode. We get an event that he's very qualified for.
Yes. Episode 7 is called What Have I Done? Ooh, boy. And this episode, and also technically episode 8, they're kind of, this is the plot, and action.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this basically starts off with us getting the reveal of what Angstrom Levy's plan is and him enacting it all at the same time.
Yeah. I got to be honest on this one. Robert Kirkman did state that originally they had storyboarded out the Invincible War to be 3 episodes. Like it was going to be 6, 7, 8. Mm-hmm. And I kind of wish they had done that.
Yep.
But this show like has always been pretty breakneck with the pacing, and they were just like, we got to get through everything, and so it gets an episode, you know.
And I'm with you on that, man. It's like the Invincible War. It's not super duper lengthy, but man, it has a little bit more meat to it, a little bit more time to marinate than it does here. I also wish that they had at least gone 9 episodes and given us 2 of the Invincible War, you know?
Yeah, I mean, like, obviously you just show the Earth in shambles at the end of part 1.
Yeah.
And then part 2, like, picks up the next day or whatever with the good guys fighting back, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that would have been a great way to do it. Yeah, man, I just really wish this had more time to breathe, but as it stands, I still enjoy it. An interesting side note is that where the story is now, like according to the comic books, right? Like just lengthwise, where the story is now is like in the middle or the end of book 6 of 12.
Yeah.
So they're literally like at the halfway point.
So you think we're going to get 6 seasons?
I think it's very possible we get 6 seasons.
And a movie?
This isn't... This isn't Community.
It's not Community? Well, we still ain't got our damn Community movie, so...
Well, and there you have it. So.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think we will.
Well, they keep saying we're gonna, but, you know, we'll see how it goes.
Oh, you know, we keep saying that we're going to give the superhero homie condoms, and we haven't done that.
We aren't saying that.
Yeah, we are. Yeah,
no,
we say it all the time.
No, you say it. We don't say it. As a matter of fact, I have been, like, vehemently against this idea.
What?
From jump.
Oh, this is the first I've heard of this.
It is not. I have the audio recordings.
I don't think you meant that.
Oh, but yeah, man, like 6 seasons seems good to you, like for length wise.
Yeah. I think that's probably a pretty good length to do everything. I guess my worry is that like the momentum of this show isn't slowing down,
right?
You know? And are they gonna want to end it?
I think if 6 will work, then 7 will work. Mm-hmm. But I think if you keep trying to go past that, I mean, like, granted, like, Kirkman is the showrunner, right?
Oh, yeah.
So if he's like, I got time to do this whole major arc that I never got to do in the comics, then obviously they're giving them a little breathing room.
Yeah. Which they are doing that, so, yeah.
But I'll be honest, man, I think that if you ended this season, like, with, like, the Invincible War being over, and then people think, oh, the Earth's destroyed, they got the Invincible War done, well, we're going to get a time skip to next season, and, like, they're going to have, like, started to fix everything, blah, blah. And then, like, the next season just picks up, and it's like the Invincible War, like, just ended motherfucking Conquest. First episode.
Oh, no. Oh, the problem, like, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
The problem is it's so hard to follow Conquest, like, in terms of, like, just following him in terms of enemies and intimidation and whatnot. And, you know, unfortunately, I guess this is a mild spoiler as well, but, you know, In the comics, we never get to see Battle Beast versus Conquest, so we don't know how that fight would ever play out.
I want it.
That would be. They can still do it in the show.
They can do it in the show.
Yeah, there's a way.
Yeah, which is this the episode where we find out that Battle Beast like can in fact breathe in space?
Yeah, he's like he's hibernating in space like a xenomorph.
Battle Beast can probably breathe in space, right? He really wants to talk to you guys. He's a huge fan.
Man, those guys, those random space shippers who picked him up, I'm like, why'd you guys do that?
You think he killed them?
Oh, for sure.
I don't know if Battle Beast knows how to fly a spaceship.
You'll figure it out.
Yeah. He's probably like, take me to wherever, and then like he's gonna kill them when they get there. That's like the last fucking thing you want to pick up.
And like, why would you? You know?
He was surrounded by like the core. Well, granted, mate, pretty much everyone hates Viltrumites.
Yeah.
So like, oh, this motherfucker shredded one. Mm-hmm. Okay,
that's true. But then I also be thinking he could have Viltrumite. So what could he do to me?
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. And he looks pretty fucking ferocious.
Yeah, he looks like some sort of battle beast.
I fucking love Battle Beast, man. I really do.
And here's the crazy thing: Battle Beast is one of the most beloved characters across the entire Invincible spectrum. Maybe the laziest character that Kirkman came up with in this whole show. Yeah. Because, like, if you Google Battle Beast, you will find the toys from the 80s called Battle Beast that look like Battle Beast. I'm like, so Robert Kirkman, he just straight up...
He played it very loosely with a lot of IP rules and shit when he wrote these.
For sure.
Yeah, because apparently there's things from the comics that they've had to heavily edit for the show because they're a little more stingy about that kind of shit these days.
Yep. Like the Spider-Man shit.
Oh, yeah.
Had to work around that.
That's Agent Spider.
Yeah. I don't know how the Spawn cameos were. I guess they have to call Todd McFarlane to see if he's cool with it.
Yeah.
Same thing with like Savage Dragon and like other characters. But anywho, episode 7, What Have I Done? Ancient Levy unleashes not an army, but like a battalion?
A squad?
Yeah.
Squad! Of Invincible?
Yeah, releases... I think in the comics it was like...
It's like 15 here.
Yeah.
Which...
That,
15 Viltrumites is a lot.
It's a lot, dog.
Because, like, one can fuck your planet up. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I just want to point out, like, from a multiverse perspective, right? All of the Mark Graysons are little shits.
All of the ones that Angstrom picked up are shit.
Because we surely there has to be an episode, like not an episode, but surely there has to be a universe where he's not an asshole.
Yeah, so like that would fuck with me if I was Mark, because like if a portal opened up and 15 other me's came in and they were all dickheads,
they were like the worst people you ever met.
I'd be like, am I?
Well, surely I'm like the enigma,
even that would bother me. I would be like, those guys are the rare cases of dickheads, Surely most other versions of me are cool. Actually,
isn't in like most of the other universes like Mark and Nolan like kill like his mom and everyone?
Well, there's the whole debate about nature versus nurture.
Uh-huh.
And so yeah.
Got it.
Good. I don't feel like you got it though.
Surely there must be some universe where like Nolan like got her pregnant and then like left immediately. And like Mark never knew his dad and he's not an asshole.
It would make it real fucking awkward then, like when his powers kick in.
You'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I didn't know that puberty did all this.
Yeah.
Oh man. So yeah, the Invincibles are unleashed all over the world.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's all out war here.
Angstrom is crazy, man. How about that scene where we see how he like survived the season 2 finale?
Oh my gosh.
I don't want to live through that shit.
And I can't fathom how he did.
No.
You know, because like there was nothing left of his head. It was just, it was paste and that was loosely held together with fragments of his skull.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the fact that he had like the wherewithal to open up that portal and crawl his ass through, and those technicians were like, "What the fuck?"
Fix it.
They're like, "Dog, we don't think your insurance covers this."
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be honest, man. Number one, if something like that ever happened to me, I wouldn't want to survive. Number two, if I did survive, I definitely don't want to be fixed however they had to fix him.
Oh, yeah. I can't imagine. I imagine, as a matter of fact, Angstrom, he is so determined and so petty. He probably just got fixed up like a week ago and then put the plan together and back out.
Yeah.
Listen, man, if I'm ever in any kind of altercation like he was in, get my head literally bashed in and survive and recover, you got it, Mark.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna lay low forever.
Forever, yeah. You got it, dog.
It's almost like if you like got away with murder.
Yeah.
You know, you wouldn't like go commit more crimes.
Yeah. Or like, you know, if I ran into Jason Voorhees and I survive and I know that he's at Camp Crystal Lake and then I decide to go back.
There.
Yeah. Like, well, the water there was really like crystal.
It really was. Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah.
Oh, man. And we see all kinds of marks. We see one mark that encounters Powerplex pretty early on.
Yeah. And Powerplex is like, how many of you? Oh, my God.
And then there he goes again with his whole shtick. Yeah. See, I told you that he's not any good. We can't let him keep getting away with this. And that shit was fucked up because, like, when Mark Prime, you know, when he shows up, when Marky Mark shows up, he gets his dick stomped in the dirt when he's trying to explain what's going on.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like, these guys are me, but they're not me. Yeah. I'm me, and they're them, but they are me.
Yeah, and they're like,
yeah.
Yeah, and that was unfortunate. Little did Mark know that would be the least of the ass whoopings he would take today. Eve is injured at one point by one of the marks.
That shit was brutal.
Yeah. Nasty leg break.
Yeah, you just gotta imagine, like, because it's not like, I mean, granted, don't get me wrong, like, if he, like, grabbed it and crushed it, that would have been horrible. Yep. But what actually happened was so much worse, where, like, he flung her, and, like, it just, like, snaps, like, here.
Yeah.
And just, oh, my God, the immense pain.
That would have been awful. Oh. And, you know, that's again, man, like, you know, Adam Eve is the epitome of a glass cannon, you know.
Yeah.
You can dish out all kinds of power, but, like, your durability, it's not...
You're just a regular ass person.
Yeah. It ain't no Viltrumite durability.
No.
You know? So, yeah. And so Mark deals with, like, the other two Invincibles who they were fighting and gets her to a hospital. Meanwhile, we see Rex helping Ray move into her apartment because in the previous episode, she discussed with Rex that while she would love to pursue a relationship with Rex, she's not going to be a part of Superhero Ring anymore.
Yeah.
You know? And she makes a good case for it. And so, yeah, her and Rex, you know, they're helping her move into her new spot. And then they see the shit go down. And, you know, Rex tells her, you know, stay here. You know, you're going to stay out of the superhero life. You can't come out of retirement one day after quitting.
Yeah. And as soon as he went to go leave, I was like, well,
yeah,
that's it.
That's it, man.
And it's crazy because I was like, they're never going to make me care about this character. But by the time he died, it was like such a highlight of the episode. Just a really like, emotional moment here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I'm right there with you, man. Like, I was, I knew he died in the comics. And I knew that, like, his expiration date was way past due. And, I'm just waiting for this motherfucker to finally bite it. And when he does, man, it was quite moving.
It was, yeah.
And the way he goes out as a hero. He buys time for Bulletproof to get Monster Girl and Robot out of there. And Rex has this nasty wound in like his side stomach area. And the evil Mark has Rex dead to rights, and he's like, you have nothing else to charge. And Rex says, I got one more thing. My fucking skeleton, you dickhead.
Does he kill that Mark?
I think he did.
I think he killed that Mark, yeah. Which, I mean, good job, Rex Explode, man. Right. Like, I think you're like one of the only people to actually get one.
Yeah. There was only like a few that got a kill on an Invincible.
Yeah.
And Rex Explode was one of them, and Rex Explode lived up to his name.
He really did. Blew up the whole fucking base.
The whole motherfucking base, dog. Gone.
Yeah.
And the Shrinking Ray, she's driving and she sees the explosion in the building and she thinks the worst. As she should.
So, speaking of the fight at the Guardians HQ, so Kay has never watched Invincible.
Okay.
Right? But she happened to be laying there with me while I watched the finale of this particular episode. And, like, when they're showing the, like, last week on Invincible, it shows the clip where he, like, rips off Immortal's head and throws it through one of the duplicates. And she's just like, did he just cut her in half with the head? And I was like, actually, he ripped off the head of her lover and then used it to murder her with it. And she was like, that's awful. I was like, yes. However, he's immortal and there's a bunch of her, so it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Oh, man. Their sets can get real kinky real fast.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Yeah. Which is probably why he decided to marry her.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just like, I want like the 15 of you to put me like through a bed of knives.
And then jump onto yourself for 14 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, the kind of force you have to have, not just to rip somebody's head off, but then to throw it through.
That was a great kill.
It was a great kill. I got a feeling that Marcus done that before.
Yeah. Yeah, there's probably like a contest for like who killed the most duplicates, like a scoring system.
Yeah. Oh shit, that'd be hard to keep up with.
Yeah, because they all look the same.
Yeah, but they all do have like numbers.
That's true. Yeah,
so that makes it easier.
Yeah, nobody cares about multi-Paul.
What if this universe's multi-Paul has the best name?
Oh, no. Like, all the other ones are worse?
Yeah. There's, like, Twin Turbo. Or
in one of the universes, they... Like, one of them is Multi-Kate, and the other one is Dupli-Paul.
That's the darkest timeline.
Yeah. Yeah, they got the original Born Again in that timeline. And the Nicolas Cage Superman.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh no! Well, as long as there's a giant spider and polar bears that protect the Fortress of Solitude.
Yeah. And if they had some polar bears here at the Guardians of the Globe HQ, maybe they should have been okay.
Oh yeah! How would Omni-Man get past polar bears?
Right. Yeah, they're the most dangerous predator in the animal kingdom.
Of course, as everyone knows.
Yeah. And all other facts.
Yeah. So it is during the or right after the Rex death scene, it's where we're met with some somber Billie Eilish, I believe.
Yeah, yeah. The soundtrack in this show is always top tier.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They did a great job with it, and I also like how Cecil is just like, what the fuck?
Oh yeah. I like how the Reaniman, like, they killed an Invincible and like wouldn't stop.
Yeah.
And Cecil was like, all right, that's enough.
He's dead. They got 2 of them, I think.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
they killed 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, those 2 kill so many Reanimen.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And again, Donald was there to provide exposition that no one needed.
Yeah, yeah.
He's like, sir, I believe these Invincibles are weaker than the one that we have.
Thanks, Donald.
Go fucking do something useful,
Yeah.
Donald.
Trying to figure out what I pay you for.
I'm a robot, sir.
Yeah, at this point, he doesn't pay Donald, right? Like,
He can't, right? Like, for what purpose?
yeah, for what?
Yeah.
Donald.
Oh, shit. Yeah, there is lots of death and destruction. And so we see, like, superheroes all over the globe who are just dead in the most gruesome of manners. There was the one, I mean, I don't know who these random heroes were, but they were fighting one of the marks. One of them was real big, and the other one was real little.
Yeah.
And they do like a fastball special, but the evil mark, I think he like catches him and throws him back at the and the little person like lands on the back of the big one, and Mark body slams the big one, and you see like the splat
Yeah.
from where the little one is crushed to death.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that is gruesome.
And then Oliver almost gets killed trying to fight one.
Yes. Oliver, his little ass stay almost getting killed in these fights.
He really does. And like, they found out that like our Mark is way stronger than them. Mm-hmm. And you know, but not strong enough to fight 2 at one time.
Yeah.
Yeah. When there was 2v1, that shit was problematic.
He was getting rocked.
Because they were dropping like flies until then.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. So eventually, yeah, Eve is injured. I've already mentioned that. The Invincibles, they all like kind of hold a powwow, the ones who are remaining, and they all come to the conclusion of, hey, why don't we just turn on Angstrom?
Yeah. And he's like, I knew you motherfuckers was going to do this. And then he just like banishes them to an empty dimension.
He takes them to the same place where he took Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure that's never going to come back up.
No comment.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a recurring theme through all of these episodes where it's like, y'all really gonna Goku all these people? You don't think you should kill a few of them?
Right.
Because Mr. Liu is definitely coming back.
Yep.
Motherfucking Power Plates don't even stay put up for one episode. All these marks are coming back, and then that brings us to the other one.
To Angstrom Levy, who is not back.
Yeah, who is also back. Yeah.
Yeah.
And going to come back again.
Gonna come back again. Yeah, I was talking to Kevin, and I was like, you know what he is? Angstrom Levy, he's like an enemy from Shadows of Mordor, who like you kill him, and then he comes back with another upgrade.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, hey, man, I'll be honest. They can bring him back every season if they're going to keep Sterling K. Brown.
Oh, for sure.
Because he's so tremendous here.
Yes. Yeah, he's great. He's always great. So then that leads us to our Mark and Angstrom fight. This was a really cool fight because Mark has finally fucking learned how to fight him.
Yeah. And he is having none of Angstrom shit.
No.
Like, this Angstrom, like, you know, he's like a super genius or whatever, and, like, this plan almost worked, but, like, what he didn't count on was that Mark has been hitting the fucking gym.
Yeah.
And this Mark not only has the wherewithal to fight him, but also he is vastly superior to all the other ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, he's way stronger than the last time they fought, which, you know, does not bode well for Angstrom at all.
Right.
And, you know, like you said, like, Mark knows how Angstrom works. You're not gonna trick me into going into one of your portals.
Yep.
You know? But Angstrom, he's like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna peace out this time. But I'm gonna find you again.
He ripped that motherfucker's arm off.
Yes, got his arm straight up ripped off. Straight up cold obsidian Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly. That's exactly what I thought of.
Yeah. And he was like, oh, man, well, you know, that really sucked. Hey, technician, so y'all gonna let me bleed out here?
And they're like, yeah.
Yeah, so the technicians, we don't know a whole lot about these guys.
They're fucking creepy.
Right. Yeah.
They are really creepy. I don't want to owe them shit.
No.
I thought they were actually about to kill him. I thought they was about to like basically harvest his organs.
Right. Yeah. But apparently what they have planned is probably way more severe.
Yeah.
So, not the last time we've seen the technicians or Angstrom Levy. The good news is, I'm pretty sure Angstrom's going to get his arm back.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Well, the world is saved from the Invincible War.
Yes, the world is now saved from the Invincible War. Mark does, just one more thing to mention here. Mark does go, he sees Adam Eve in the hospital. She's in a comatose state, and Mark meets the parents of Eve. Wow.
Not a great time.
Not a great time.
While the clones of you are ravishing the entire planet and killing hundreds of millions of people.
Yep. You know, if you're Mark, what do you think of the parents? He's not really in the headspace to comprehend their bullshit.
No, yeah.
But maybe if he gets a break and things calm down, he's going to think back on that meeting and be like, you know what, I think I think you have some pretty shitty parents. and that's coming from me.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, her dad is a huge piece of shit.
Who has the worst dad, her or Mark?
I mean, purely from like a who's the worst parent, it's definitely Eve. Because Nolan was actually...
He was a great dad.
He was a great dad to Mark until he decided to take over the Earth.
And that was what's one day amongst 17.
Right. Yeah.
17 years.
And then he like saved his life. I mean, he may have like smacked him from New York to Chicago with one punch. But he was talking shit. And then he saved him from the Viltrumites on the bug planet.
Yep.
Where he, showed up and was like, yeah, let's smash.
Man. Yeah, I don't know how much Oliver... I mean, we know that he has, like, superior memory because of, like, his mother's people.
Right.
But how much does he really think of or know about his mom? Because, like, I'm pretty sure that I've had constipation that's lasted longer than his mom was alive.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, while he was alive especially.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so Mark meets the parents. He's not really in the headspace to comprehend how shitty they are, especially the dad.
Yeah.
Really the dad.
They are just awful, though.
Yeah, they are. And Mark, he flies off to go help with the cleanup mess. And you know what? The way that this episode begins to end is very optimistic. Well, there's a lot of destruction and there's a lot of people who have died, but we are still finding people, and the rescue efforts are increasing, and things are going to get better, and we're going to start rebuilding, and so all the heroes are helping rebuild, and Mark is out there helping. And then there's a big ass eclipse over him, and it is none other than Conquest. A man, Viltrumite, who I've been waiting for in this show since it started.
When the Invincible War episode started, did you think he was going to show up at the end?
So back when we recorded part 1 of this, the spot where I thought it would end, I thought they were going to end it not just during the Conquest fight. I thought they were going to end it with the death of Adam Eve.
Oh.
Yeah.
That would be wild.
Yeah. For sure. I see why they didn't do it though, because like all you have to do is a quick Google search and see that she lives.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it would have been like an ineffective year-long tease.
Yeah.
So yes, that is where episode 7 ends, and it does end, by the way, with a little bit of dialogue between Mark and Conquest, and Conquest. Conquest is he's the freakiest of freaks. But Mark's like, I had a real shitty week, and right now, what I really want to do is hit something. And Conquest is like, fucking good.
Let's go.
And then Mark was like, wait, I'm sorry, man, but do you have an erection right now?
Yeah.
Conquest is like, I live for this shit.
Yeah. So I always thought that as soon as I got done watching this episode, I was like, this is going to be controversial as a motherfucker on the podcast. But there are some ways in which I think this is the worst episode of Invincible. And I don't mean that I didn't enjoy it. But what I mean is that I feel like a lot of the things, my major issues with it are twofold. Number one, I feel like it misses out on a lot of the things that typically make this show so special, which is like the attention to the like emotional side of things and like the human impact of what's going on. Like, for example, the Mark and Omni-Man fight from season 1 had way more emotional weight to it than this did, not just because it was a father and a son and like two characters that we knew. Like, obviously it had that going for it, but just the when Nolan smacks him through that building, right? We immediately see like the realization and the horror on Mark's face as he sees the building come down and he's powerless to do anything about it. And it was just like, not only was he in this completely fruitless fight against his dad where he had no chance of winning, but like, not only that, he was also so helpless to protect anybody, which is what he, his mindset when he got into this whole thing is like, oh, I can't wait to get my power so I can protect people. And then the other major problem that I have with it is that I feel like it has to really go out of its way to try to top that fight. I think Conquest is awesome. Like, the fight itself, I really enjoy. But I think that's all it is, man. It feels to me very similar to the Clark and Zod fight from Man of Steel, and even that to me I think has more emotional weight because of just the opposing viewpoints or ideologies of those two characters, right? You have the son of a scientist who wanted to save their planet versus the soldier that let it fall into ruin and now is about to fuck up another planet. He's basically trying to get out of his own fuck up by like ruining someone else's world when he could have actually saved the old one. So that has that kind of weight to it. But with this, man, we're just kind of not randomly, but we're kind of the moment that we're introduced to Conquest to me is really muted by the weight of what just happened with the Invincible War, and then Conquest is kind of one note, man. He's just a fucking psychopathic goddamn Viltrumite. And like, I get it as a like this is a physical threat for Mark. It's a hard time. You have a hard time finding those, especially now that he's like powered up. Even the other Invincibles 1-on-1, they're not really a threat to him. Or you got to have a dragon from like another fucking dimension or whatever. So yeah, I mean that's my major issues with this episode, and a lot of it to me just didn't really land, and then it made the end of the season feel really anticlimactic to me.
Okay. So those are valid points that you bring up. I think my perspective of this episode, though, is you're not always gonna get Goku and Frieza. Sometimes you need a Goku and Broly.
Yeah,
and this is what that is. And there's a reason, I think, why they knew to end this with Conquest, because if you start with Conquest, you're not gonna top it. And you're right, Conquest is one dimensional, but that's also by design.
right.
You know, he is very one dimensional. Hell, Conquest is even self aware that he's one dimensional. You know, and you know, the thing about it not having like the emotional weight of like the fight with Nolan and Mark, absolutely not. Like there's nowhere near like the same emotional weight. But I think also because like it's not trying to, because the emotional weight is with the Invincible War. Like there's a lot more emotional weight to that. And then on top of that here, this is an exhausted Mark, both physically, mentally, and emotionally. He's just fucking spent. And now he has this fucking juggernaut of a being to contend with. And he's at his wit's end here. And what this fight really is a representation of Mark truly beginning to tap into his Viltrumite side to get the fucking job done. Because if he doesn't, then, I mean, everything that he's just been through is all for naught.
We're sitting there watching the fight, and which, like I said, thoroughly enjoyed the fight.
Oh, yeah.
And Jeffrey Dean Morgan was perfectly cast.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you're a Walking Dead fan, or even, and I don't consider myself one, but I mean, everybody knows about like the Negan event. There's just something about Stephen Yeun's character caving his head in that was poetic justice, and that was not lost on Robert Kirkman, I'm sure.
At all.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if he specifically asked for Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Oh, I'm sure he did.
Yeah.
He probably, I think I read an interview with him where he said that like before they even got the first season out, he knew exactly who he wanted for Conquest and Thrag.
I wonder who he has for Thrag.
Yeah, I want to know too.
Oh my God. Do you think it's a Walking Dead alumni?
I don't know, man, because Omni-Man's not, and Sterling K. Brown wasn't on there, was he?
No, no. That's true.
So yeah, and I don't know who it could be unless it's Ross Marquardt.
Oh, he's our immortal though.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. He actually does a couple voices.
He does. Yeah. What if they got? What's his
Andrew
name?
Lincoln.
Yeah, Andrew Lincoln. Yeah.
Well, he could get John Bernthal.
Oh, he could. Yeah.
People forget he was on that show.
Yeah.
I was like, he was the only reason to watch it. Honestly, you just turn that shit off.
Old Proto Punisher. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh man, yeah. I don't know who plays angry, buffed out Freddie Mercury.
Should get Hemsworth.
Which one?
There's just the one. There's just Chris.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Man, you know Liam's going to be busy making that other show.
Making The Witcher, of course.
Yeah, you think it'll still be on by then?
Do I think The Witcher will still be on?
Yeah.
I think that they will end season, what's this going to be 4?
Yeah.
I think they will end season 4 in such a place where it can be viewed as like the finale.
Yeah, because it's probably nobody's gonna watch that shit.
Yeah, I think they're gonna get high numbers for like days, like the first week, for people just seeing what it looks like.
Yeah.
And then they're gonna notice like a huge drop off. That's my prediction. What about Luke? Thinking about Luke Hemsworth.
Oh, I always do forget there's a third.
That's fucked up.
It's like with the Skarsgårds.
Oh no! Do not do this again to Bill.
It's like
I would not stand.
There's Stellan, and then there's Alexander, and then I forget that
See, no, I will not tolerate Bill Skarsgård slander.
Go check out our review of the Crow remake.
You don't have to do that, and that's a terrible example. God damn it! All right. Hey, listen. Alexander played fucking Tarzan. All right. They're allowed to have their oopsie daisies.
You know, they said that every year they offer a role to Bryan Cranston. What if Thrag ended up being the one he took?
Oh,
like they actually got him for Thrag.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, I would love that.
Kirkman is determined to complete the Breaking Bad. Yeah.
Oh man, like I knew it would be forced, but then I need to see with Power Plus and Thrag.
Yeah. Like I don't know how we get this team up.
Yeah. We can't let him keep getting away with that. Oh shit. Oh, by the way, episode 8 is called "I Thought You'd Never Shut Up."
Yeah.
Yeah. So, in most cases, right, with like these superpowered fights, I always say to myself, if I were Mark or any superpowered person fighting a villain or whatever, listen, I love superhero shenanigans and comic books. Clearly, I am not made for that life because if I get hit one time by somebody like Conquest, I'm staying down.
Yeah, I'm going home. Yeah.
The problem is though, Conquest doesn't care if you stay down.
Yeah, he doesn't. Yeah, no. I mean, Conquest, like, he wants to end this with having beaten Mark to death. Mm-hmm. I thought the fight itself was incredible. I thought Jeffrey Dean Morgan was the perfect person to play him. All of his lines are so fucking creepy, especially when he starts talking about how, like, lonely he is and, like, the other Viltrumites don't want to hang out with them. And I'm like, yeah, you didn't mention eating people's hearts enough in this 30-minute episode where I'm kind of wondering if it's like a fetish.
Oh, I think everything is a fetish with him.
Yeah.
I mean, you know how fucking wild you have to be, untethered you have to be for other Viltrumites to be scared of you.
Yeah. Like, I'll be honest, if you're just in like a crazy situation where like two people trying to kill each other, I feel like you could drop the one time, like, I'm gonna eat your fucking heart.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Spur of the moment, you were just trying to think of some really intimidating, wild shit to say. Got it. But the second, third time you mention that shit,
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, then it's kind of an issue then.
I thought he was about to snap Oliver in half.
Oh my gosh, yeah. That shit looked like it was, and he was taking his time with it, explaining like the physiology of what's happening to Oliver.
As he does it. Yeah, that shit was horrible.
Oh.
The thing too is like one of the things that kind of undermined the weight of Adam Eve's fate here is as soon as like he kills her or whatever, like Mark rushes over. Mm-hmm. That motherfucker immediately is like, Caesar! I was like, you motherfucker!
Hey, look. He did call out for Cecil, but I guarantee you, in Cecil's mind, he was cheerleading like a motherfucker for Mark to win this fight.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you called it, and so did I, too. It's like, oh, yeah, they might be mad at each other, but like the first fucking angry Viltrumite that shows up, whatever. They're on the same team for a little bit.
And this was real angry.
Yeah, and despite the fact that like Mark has been insanely shitty to Cecil, Cecil did immediately show up and like get Oliver out of there.
Yeah,
and like the only reason he didn't show up immediately when the shit happened with Adam Eve is like he was gathering every fucking superhero who's still alive.
Yeah. He was trying to. So he has D.A. Sinclair working on
Invincibles.
Yes. Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah, we get that little hint where he's like, are you done with him yet? He's like, no, it's taking us forever to cut through their skin. And I was like, oh no, he's got Rihanna marks.
Yeah, Rihanna marks. Like that is You got to keep such a short leash on something like that.
This is some fucking 90s cartoon bullshit where like the original series is called Reanimate and then they have Reanimarks.
Reanimarks.
Yeah.
Like remember in Power Rangers when the putties got like an upgrade and then like you had to hit them on like the chest emblem?
Yeah.
That's like what these are, you know.
Yeah. You got to smack the emblems. Yeah. The upgraded putties.
Oh man. Putties were the most useless henchmen. I don't know if they ever landed a single actual blow on any of the Power Rangers.
They were just, they were just advanced cranium clay. So.
If it rained real hard, they'd be dead.
Yeah, they just.
Oh, man. Yeah, but this fight is very brutal. And, you know, Conquest, he treats this the way that, like, people who play video games treat NPCs when they get real bored, you know? Like, if you're real good at a video game and you just bored with it, you start touring around with the NPC. That's what Conquest is doing here, really, you know?
Yeah.
Like, he loves to fight, but, man, similar to Battle Beast, like, he has no equal. He has no challenge. And for him, that's where the real thrill is in the challenge.
Early on, when they start fighting or whatever, and he's like, if you don't get your shit together, and then, like, Mark lands, like, hit after hit after hit on him, like, 5, 6, 7, and I'm like, I got a horrible feeling about this. I was like, I don't think this dude is taking any damage from this shit. And then he's just like, oh, well, if that's all you got. And then he just, oh, my God, there's that one where he punches him across the ocean or whatever.
Yeah. I think they were in, like, Central America.
Yeah. Yeah, he, like, hit him across the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah, the Gulf of America.
Nope. It's the Gulf of Mexico. And then, like, it was like every time he would hit him, like the force from the hit would also reverberate out and destroy everything. Mm-hmm. How about that? It's a good thing that city was already abandoned that they started the fight in, because when they originally had the thing where they like hit each other, it damn near destroyed the whole fucking city.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, it's a good thing all these people already got killed by you a few days ago.
Right.
Or yesterday, actually. So
there's been a debate online about how is Mark so strong when he is, you know, he's 18, I think 18 or 19 years old now.
Yeah.
And you have guys like Thrag, these battle-hardened warriors, and I think Thrag is pushing 10,000 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, well, not Thrag, but Conquest is pushing 10,000 years old, and he's like probably the second strongest Viltrumite.
I was gonna go out on a limb and say Thrag's got to be like
Thrag
the
is
top.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, to be fair, Conquest, like, I don't think Conquest was ever in any danger of losing 1v1 to Mark.
That is true. But I don't know. I guess, like, if all Viltrumites believe in like the whole Saiyan aspect of training and whatnot, like, we don't. How old is Nolan? 5,000?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I think something like that. And look at how strong he is. How close is Mark to that already?
Well, you got to think that you got to factor in the half aspect, right? Because Oliver is probably the second, like, before Conquest and like all the Marks showed up. Like, as far as like current residents of Earth, Oliver might be like the third strongest behind Adam and Mark.
Yeah.
Because like I'm pretty sure he could kill all the Guardians.
Don't tell him that.
Yeah. Because I mean the way he fucking fucked up the Mauler twins.
Oh yeah.
Effortlessly.
Right.
So you got I think it kind of is along those lines of like the Saiyans, right? Where you know Vegeta is probably what 50 when he becomes a Super Saiyan for the first time, but then like fucking Trunks and Goten are like 8.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair.
You know, so it probably has to do with like the combined DNA, as to why, you know, like Mark's probably not going to be 10,000. He probably isn't going to live that long, and so I think he, you know, his lifespan like accelerates a little faster, and we don't know what impact that has on his like abilities either.
That's true. That is true. Yeah. So this fight goes on, and Eve, she does come out of her coma, and she immediately goes to go help Mark. Boy, so love really does do crazy things to people, because if an evil Mark, who was weaker than her Mark, snapped her leg like that, and you see this big motherfucker manhandling your boyfriend, hey, you know, like what's the saying? The flesh is willing, the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of those scenarios, Eve. Like, your intentions are well, but damn, girl, you got to learn how to pick your fights.
The stakes for this fight really pick up when she enters it, because the whole time you're just like, you're looking at him, and you know Conquest is a fucking monster, and it's only going to take one tiny fuck up for her to get her rocked. That
is when you start to feel a little tense, because Mark doesn't like it that Mark can take a punch.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure he has like CTE or whatever, but, but he can take a punch.
I think Conquest also has CTE. Late stage.
Yeah, for sure. But with Adam Eve, she's giving it her all, man, and it's like he's just going through those shields and force fields like they're nothing. And, you know, you're wondering, okay, what's going to happen next?
How do you think Conquest lost his arm?
So actually, I don't know if they will show this in the TV show, but in the comics, he was actually affected by the Scourge virus. And while he was underneath the effects of the Scourge virus, he was fighting like these animalistic bug things or whatever, and one of them took his arm and his eye. So, and that's why they didn't like grow back or anything.
Ah, okay.
Yep. But that motherfucker, he's so strong and determined. He survived the Scourge virus.
Yeah. And, I mean, his plan would have worked, I think, too, here, if not for Adam Eve.
Oh, yeah. Like
pulling a straight-up Jean Grey.
Bruh. And before that, she tried to pull she did pull, like, a Sue Storm classic. One of my favorite things that Sue Storm does is she'll put, like, a force field around your head to cut off your air supply.
Yeah.
And Adam Eve tries that here, but Conquest didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
He was like, I haven't breathed since 1954.
Yeah. I don't even fucking like it. Thanks. He was like, that's right. Choke me, mommy.
Yeah. God damn. Oh, man. Like, I wouldn't even know what to think if I'm getting my dick stomped in the dirt and this motherfucker leans in and goes, I'm so lonely. I would just chalk it up to a concussion.
I'd be like, I think get the fuck out of here. But like, well, you know, we could be friends if you just don't, you know, want to like not take my planet over.
You know, Conquest is like what they should show small children to keep them out of prison. Like,
yeah,
you want to go to jail and meet a Conquest? Yeah. There's a Conquest in every state penitentiary.
Yeah, this motherfucker just, yeah. I mean,
yeah,
horrifying.
Absolutely so. And he gives this incredible like monologue to Mark. You know, he says something along the lines of he's a victim of his own success and how all of the other Viltrumites are scared of him. He doesn't even get a name, just, what did he say? Just
Conquest.
Just a title, Conquest. Yeah. And, I mean, it was like really fucking epic what he was saying here.
I actually really love.
Then he goes, take it to your grave.
Yeah.
Oh.
I really love that. I think my favorite line that he delivers was actually the one of the earliest lines in the fight when he's like, "See, this is a part where Anissa would come down and tell you to give up, or like she would have to put you down or whatever," and he's like, "I hope you resist."
Oh.
And Mark's is like, "I'm in danger."
Yeah. Oh man. But yeah, after he so what did you think? What were your initial thoughts when he knocks Adam Eve's fucking face loose and then impales her?
For a second there, I was like, "Oh man, like they actually are about to go full tilt darkness with all this." But honestly, I believe she died because I even called it in the first half. I was like, "Yeah, I mean, they gave them a fucking lovebird monologue or montage and everything." I was like, "They just asking to get killed."
Bro, you called that shit, and I was like, I gotta bite my tongue on that one.
Yeah,
because I thought that they were gonna end the season right around this point. You know? So yeah, you technically were not far off.
No, and like when he first just hit her, I was like, Cecil can fix that. And then like he like punched her, and you see the entrails flapping as she falls to the ground. I was like, maybe not.
Yeah.
And then like Mark just loses it, and I'm just like, something has to happen here, you know?
Yeah. And Conquest gives Mark a very firm reminder that he, in fact, is not a Saiyan. Like, the angrier you get does not make you stronger.
No.
You are not a Saiyan nor the Hulk.
Yeah. he just keeps fucking him up. And then when Eve has her Dark Phoenix moment, that shit was insane.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you what you think of that. Did you think that did you think it was good? Did you find it cheapening? Did you?
I loved it.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought it added like a whole new kind of dimension to her character, literally. And I really loved it. I thought it was incredible. Because there was no way Mark was just gonna beat him. You know?
Yeah.
So for her to kind of like Dr. Manhattan herself and like put herself back together was really cool.
Yeah. And like you said, Mark needed something, because what the fuck was she gonna do?
When she charged up that fucking Final Flash,
oh yeah,
and hit Conquest with it, I was like, I was like, I think she tore his skin off.
Tore all his fucking skin off, bro.
I don't care how badass you are. You know that shit sucked.
Dog, that shit had to be awful.
Yeah.
Now that, I think, truly made Conquest upset.
Yeah, I think he was real mad after that.
Oh man, and then but that does weaken him quite a bit, and we see, Conquest and Mark have like this punch off, like his giant mechanical hand versus Mark's non-giant mechanical hand.
And then, Mark fucking breaks his hand to break Conquest's hand. That shit sucked, man, where you just see the one wrist just...
And Mark's leg was already fucked up.
Yep.
And then his other arm is broken by Conquest.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Mark, you got 3 bad limbs, my guy. Like,
anybody who's ever played Fallout knows when you got 3 of those red, you gotta go back to base.
Yeah, you gotta take some stim packs or something. Yeah. And then Mark headbutts Conquest into oblivion.
Yeah.
And Mark goes, How do you like this now? And Conquest goes, you gotta take the good with the bad. And like, even in his final moments, Conquest was smiling.
Yeah. Because you got to think, man, like how long he's probably wanted this warrior's death.
Yeah.
Because he's older than Thrag, right?
Yeah, he's older than Thrag.
Yeah, yep. So.
It's dog. And so to kind of speed things up here, fast forward, we do see that they don't outright say that he is alive, but Cecil has him down in like a fucking sector of the facility that is like rigged to like self-collapse if this motherfucker even sneezes.
This is the first moment this season where I was like, Cecil, my boy, my little boy Blue. Why would you do this? Why would you do this, Cecil?
Oh.
I was so disappointed. And to an extent, I'm just like, man, Cecil wouldn't fucking do this. You know? At first, I thought that he was going to have Sinclair try to make him a Rihanna conquest.
Oh, my gosh.
A Rihanna quest.
Fuck. Rihanna quest. Yeah.
And I was like, that's a horrible idea.
Oh, for sure.
And then it turns out that his idea he had was infinitely worse. He's built a quote-unquote Viltrumite prison. I'm like, I just watched motherfucking Alan the Alien break out of like an actual Viltrumite prison.
Right.
There's no way that you have any means to hold this motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, at the beginning of this season, Mark easily like bench pressed the strongest thing that they could make.
Yeah.
And Conquest is what? 4-5 times stronger, you know? And so what means does he really have to keep someone like Conquest secured?
Here's what I think is going to happen. When Conquest heals up, it's going to be about like at the end of the Adam Eve special when they have her in those restraints and she just is like, psh. I think Conquest is going to break out of that place. I think he's going to be out of there before the explosion even happens. And he's probably going to wreck shit. And by the look on your face, I'm assuming that I'm not far off. No spoilers.
No spoilers. Speaking of no spoilers, let's talk about some shit that no one has any idea about except for Robert Kirkman. This post-credit scene with... What's the name of the character again? Dark
Detective or whatever the fuck his name is.
Yeah. Clancy Brown.
Clancy Brown from episode 2 or whatever.
Yeah. He is communing with his patron, his Dark Lord or whatever, and he says that he's found a way. And we're assuming that he's found a way for like his patron to come to this dimension or...
Yeah.
And we don't really know what that entails at all. Yeah.
It seems like it's going to be some bad shit, though.
It seems like it. And I think there's a lot of bad shit that's going on already.
Neither one of these characters looks physically imposing.
Yeah.
And I did think that this after credit scene was like really a down note, though. Mm-hmm. I just don't think it hit well. Like, I had to look up who this motherfucker was. So I know the casuals aren't going to know.
Yeah. I mean, because like you said... I think he maybe had... Did he have any scenes in season 2?
No. Okay, no, I don't think we've seen him at all since Cecil sent him to hell.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So it's been a minute. And...
Yeah, because you got to remember, that was like 6 years ago in Earth time because of the gap.
Oh, yeah. I think it would have been better served if we had seen Omni-Man and Alan maybe doing something.
I agree, yeah. The fact that we're just spinning tires on the two of them is kind of sucks, to be honest.
It does. Like, I really enjoyed like their shenanigans in the first half of the season.
Yeah.
And they kept us busy with the second half of the season for sure.
Yeah.
But at the same time, those are still two really big characters that we really need to go back to and figure out what's going on with them.
Yeah, agreed.
I imagine then that we'll maybe start off this season with them. Maybe.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
How long do you think before they introduce Thrag?
I think we see him next season.
Yeah, because I was like, that's another route they could go. They could start off with that.
Yeah.
It's like, somebody's got to be bringing Thrag the reports of like how badly this is going.
Oh, yeah. Thrag reading the paper. I'm sorry. Our conquest is dead?
Yeah.
Is there another conquest I don't know about?
I'll do it myself.
Fine. I'll do it myself. Nolan's kid did this?
Yeah. Nolan's fucking inbred brat did this. Not the bug one, right? The other one? Okay.
God damn it. Oh, man.
That Dick Grayson ripoff motherfucker did this shit.
Holy shit. Oh man. So what do you want to see from season 4?
I want to see an explanation for why Eve's powers are weird now. Why Mark's suit was melting.
That was weird.
She wasn't paying no attention to that. She was trying to get some dick.
Yep.
Which, I mean, you know, when you gotta get some dick, you gotta get some dick. Especially some like superhero Viltrumite dick, probably.
Right.
And then, you know, I definitely am at least intrigued about this whole like hell storyline. Mm-hmm. So I want to see some more of that. At some point, they have to like actually defeat a villain, and like they're gone, right? So like Angstrom or someone needs to bite it.
Yeah.
You said we don't see it in the comics, man, but I want to see Battle Beast versus Conquest. God damn it.
Oh, that would be tremendous. That would be tremendous.
Who you got in that fight?
Oh boy. Okay. I am going. I have my reasons, but I'm not gonna spoil anything. I have my reasons to go with Battle Beast.
Same. Yeah, I mean, I don't have reasons.
Yeah.
Other than he's motherfucking Battle Beast.
He's motherfucking Battle Beast.
Yeah.
I think that it would be a fight that would go on and on and on.
And you do not want to be on the planet it takes place on.
Absolutely not. In no way.
Like, you probably don't actually want to be in that solar system.
Yeah. No.
Y'all do this shit elsewhere and tape it.
Mm-hmm. And somehow find a way to tape it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that there would be so much collateral damage, and the glee between those two would just
amplify.
Oh yeah,
because like they would both love it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Where have you been?
Yeah, yeah. There's just gonna be blood and semen everywhere.
Oh no.
Do we ever find out anything more about Battle Beast? Like, are there more of these motherfuckers on the planet somewhere?
Yeah. So here's the funny thing. If to answer your question, no, we really don't.
Okay.
But you can tell, like, when you read the comics, Kirkman had no idea Battle Beast would be so popular. But then people kept talking about this motherfucker. And so, like, there's a long gap in the story where, like, you get Battle Beast, like, when you see him in season 1 and he leaves. And then you don't see him for a long time. And then he finally brings him back. And he's like, yeah, fucking Battle Beast.
Whatever, man. He's great. Yeah. Fucking love Battle Beast.
He's amazing. Oh, yeah. And he's got some cool shit coming up, man. And
good.
Yeah, yeah. But, yeah, man, there's so much cool shit in the story left to tell. And, I mean, if they keep going at the pacing that they're going, I see 3, maybe 4 seasons that they do more.
Well, they did say that the way that Amazon has been renewing the show, you know, they've been doing like 2 seasons. So like they're already, you know, when they got greenlit, I think for 3, they went ahead and did 4 as well. So season 4 is already right now going to the animators and all that stuff, and the voice lines are already being laid out. So he said sometime this, you know, summer 26, we should be getting the show. So
is that? I heard actually sooner than 26.
Oh, really? This year?
Yeah. No.
Like spring?
Oh, it is 25, isn't it?
It's 25 now. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So like next year we're gonna get.
But I did hear February.
Oh, okay.
Next year. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe they'll keep that same release date.
That would be great.
Unlike 97, who can't get their shit together.
Well, that's supposed to be next year too, wasn't it?
It is now, but like the reason that you know what, so all the reasons why we're not getting it this year is because it's all Disney's fault. Firing the showrunner, number 1, but they waited fucking forever to renew it, and so like they didn't get it to the animators in time. Like the voice work and stuff is already all done. As a matter of fact, they're recording season 3 of 97 right now.
Wow.
As we speak. Well, probably not like right now, but because it's kind of late. But they're recording 97 season 3 right now, and I got that directly from the source. Yeah. Matt Watterson told me that, so they, they're gonna get the next. It's gonna be kind of like Invincible. It seems like where it's like we have a long gap for season 2, and then they'll kind of get it rolling. Yeah. So.
Well, shit. I mean, as long as we keep getting it, but I'm just glad that superhero animation is in a good place again. It's probably like as a whole, it's probably about as good as it's been since the mid '90s.
Yeah, and a lot of that stuff from the mid '90s now looks awful. Well, because I'll be honest, the original X-Men cartoon does not look good to me. Now I will say, a lot of the old stuff, like Justice League Unlimited and stuff like that, still looks really crisp.
Yeah, it does.
So,
I still like the look of Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah, and all that's like the Bruce Timm and what was the other guy, Paul Dini stuff. Yeah, so all their shit to this day has been, it even if you didn't like the way the story was going, the production value was always really good. Oh, yeah. So.
Yeah. But no, Justice League Unlimited was also great. I love that show.
Yeah. Amazon has been doing really good with, all their animated stuff. They just do a really good job in general, Yeah.
You got anything else on Invincible Season 3? What do you score this season, Caleb?
The season as a whole, I think it's hard to sit down and look at Invincible, man, and kind of rank the seasons. But I think this might be my favorite season, even though I don't love the finish. I'm gonna go with a nice, crisp 9.0 for season 3 of Invincible. I think that, the stellar voice cast just keeps getting better. The addition of Aaron Paul here definitely doesn't hurt at all. The return of Sterling K. Brown. Let's not forget Stephen Yeun pulling the amazing Invincible War, where it's I'm going to voice 16 distinct Mark Graysons and actually give them all a different kind of flair.
I'm glad you pointed that out. That was amazing.
Yeah, that is not easy to do. But it kind of reminds me of what's his name, the original Rick and Morty voice. Justin Roiland. Justin Roiland, yeah. When they did the Atlantis episode.
Yes, Rick Atlantis.
Yeah, and he voiced he still holds the Guinness World Record. It's over 800 individual characters or whatever.
God damn.
Because he's all of the Ricks and all of the Mortys on the Citadel in that episode.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and so this was kind of reminded me of that. It was kind of monumental, because even then, he only had to do really a couple lines as each one of those characters, like Justin Roiland did. But Stephen Yeun has to do the main Mark, and then there's quite a bit of work with the other ones, and there's even scenes where he's interacting and fighting them and shit, So it was no easy feat. Said the animation is up to par always. I have a few complaints here and there, but it's nothing that would even make me question. I'm going to be sitting around waiting for the next season to come out for sure, and I'll probably rewatch the whole show before season 4 comes out.
Yeah, actually, I plan on rereading the whole series.
I might actually have to pick those comics up. I think my those Omnis are beautiful, and I think my bookshelves could benefit from their presence. And I might actually read them too.
Oh yeah, and there's that.
I imagine they're probably really expensive now.
Actually, now you got options in terms of the formats. You can get what I have, the deluxe hardcovers.
Which is what I would want.
Yeah, that is definitely the most efficient way without having 15 pounds on you. They released the library edition, so they look like these.
Oh, okay.
like the slipcases and whatnot. They got like the actual Omni versions, which are like instead of 12 slipcases like I have, there are like I think 4 big boys.
Oh no.
Yeah. But so yeah, like they got options now for however you want to collect Invincible.
Nice.
Just raking in the money with it.
Yeah, I mean, as they should be. I'm sure they're getting a lot of demand out there.
One more thing about Invincible before we wrap up, and also I need to give my score.
I was gonna say, and you're gonna give your score, not weaseling it out of this shit.
But to my knowledge, I think that to some degree they're still working on a live action Invincible movie. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think that that's a good idea? Do you think that maybe they should wait?
I think if the same team, and when I say team, I mean like the producers, Robert Kirkman, like, you know, Amazon Studios, if the same people are producing it, you know, and it's not going to take too much of their attention away from the animated show, like we're not going to see a dip in the animated show. It's like, you know, for example, both of the South Park RPGs are tremendous, but we gave up like 2-3 years of the show both times.
Yeah.
So I don't want that, right? But I think if it can be done by the same team and as skillfully, and you got to get a good director. I hate the words that are about to come out of my fucking mouth.
Oh boy.
But I actually think Zack Snyder would do a great job with this.
I, in a million years, would have never predicted you saying that. But I get it, though.
Yeah, because it's kind of perfect, right? Like,
it's like a direct adaptation.
Yeah.
He would do great with that. And then, like, the action would be... Man.
Now, here's the key question. Do you want them to adapt the show to a movie, or do you want them to adapt the comics?
This is where it gets tricky. Because they'll probably do some slick version of both.
Yeah, I agree. Because in the show, right, we get the Omni-Man reveal at the end of episode 1.
Yeah. Whereas in the comics, it's much later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think in a movie, I think you can't just introduce Nolan and then have him fuck off and kill all the Guardians. I think you'd have to actually, if it were me and I were Zack Snyder, I'd probably have some, I'd probably open the movie with like the slow panning of the crime scene of the Guardians of the Globe.
Yeah. Probably
with some like Bob Dylan or something playing, if I'm Zach. And like that's probably how I open the movie, and I would leave that air of mystery through the whole thing, and then I would have the Nolan reveal and the big ass fight be the third act.
Yeah. Ooh boy, seeing that fight in live action. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that'd be amazing. I guess my only concern, like with the live action Invincible, is that's a whole lot of story to tell. Where do you end the movie with the Nolan and Invincible fight?
Yeah, I think you have to streamline a fuck ton of it. Obviously,
oh yeah,
they're gonna have to cut out so much, like that shit where like that planet invades and they fuck up real bad, and then Nolan goes and like fucks their whole shit up. They're gonna have to cut all that out. They're probably gonna have to cut out the whole Mars plot, like all that.
Yeah, there'll probably be no Shape Smith. Like, none of that. Like the insectoid brain Futurama things. They also came back this season.
Yep. They're gonna have to cut.
They have to cut that.
All that shit.
A lot of the side characters, man. Like we're talking about Rexplode and Shrinking Gray.
Those are all gonna be like background characters. Yeah. There's not gonna be no Monster Girl. I think the whole Mahler twins robot subplot is gonna go.
Yep.
I think it's gonna have to be heavily focused, like Mark, Eve, Cecil, and Omni-Man. Like that's the main cast.
Yeah, there'll probably be a strong 7 to 8 characters that will get majority of the screen time.
Yeah. If I swear to God, though, you got to get Walton Goggins.
Oh yeah, Cecil. Yeah.
I don't care what you do with the rest of the cast. I don't care who you get. But we have to keep Walton Goggins.
They bring in Walton Goggins as Donald.
Oh no, no!
What a mind fuck. But yeah, just to go ahead and give my score so we can wrap this thing on up here. I thoroughly enjoyed this season, man. The pacing was obviously for me better than season 2. Season 2 had that gap in the middle that I hate with like my television shows. And thankfully, we didn't have that here for season 3.
Yeah.
I dug the pacing of this, and I like how they were able to juggle so many side plots at one time. I do wish that we had more Nolan and Alan to do, but you know, we only have so much, I guess. Yeah, I'll go ahead and say I think that this is my favorite season. I thoroughly loved all 3 seasons. If I had to rank the seasons right now, for me is 3 at first place, closely followed by 1, and then 2.
Yeah, probably closely followed by 2. Even I would say.
Yeah.
Like they're all good.
They really are.
I'd say they're all great. Even you know.
Mm-hmm. But if I had to rank this season, which I am, I give this a 9.4 out of 10.
Look at him.
Had a real good time with this. Real good time. Well, you got anything else, my friend?
No, man. We'll be right back here later on this week to bring you guys more of our Daredevil Born Again coverage, episode by episode. And then I believe next week we're going to circle back with the back half of Andor.
Yes.
Which I'm really excited to talk to you about.
So. Yes, absolutely. I too am looking forward to that. Yeah, the homies are really liking the Andor stuff, actually.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Huh.
So, yeah.
Well, that's good. That's good.
I didn't really know how they would take to it, you know, like it's got some age on it, and, you know.
It's top tier Star Wars, and I think also, too, you know, one of the things about us recapping it is, you know, we might have sat here and talked about it for 2 hours, but if you listen to our episode, you're going to be fresh for,
that's right.
You know, season 2. It's still quicker than watching 6.5 hours of TV.
Yeah.
And not to mention, we got another 6 coming right behind that.
Right.
You know, and it's such a good show, man. And I think a lot of our listeners are probably primed to like that out of most of the Disney Plus stuff.
Yeah. It lines up.
So. I agree. Yeah. I'll be honest. I wish we could get more superhero shit that was shot with that same kind of mentality and tone. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. In terms of that grit, the grit alone, Daredevil might be the closest we get.
Yeah.
You know?
Tony Gilroy, I think, is the name of the guy that does that in Rogue One, and I'm really interested to see what else he does. Yeah. You know, he seems really. You can tell he has a really interesting vision of like what Star Wars is to him, and he lives it. You know.
Well, homies, there you have it. We have a lot more cool shit coming your way.
Oh, and you guys are tomorrow. You guys are doing the new Batman Ninja.
That we are.
I won't be here for that.
You will not be here for that.
I'm using my token. I have one get out of podcast free card per year.
And he used it on Batman Ninja 2.
Listen, I don't want to suffer through that shit. The first one was awful.
That's going to be a fun time, which means that I'll be spending, after Wednesday, after we do Daredevil, we'll be spending the rest of the week in this room editing all this shit and getting it uploaded.
Hey! There's a quick spoiler for Daredevil. If you haven't seen Born Again at all, fucking go ahead and zip. But the thumbnail that YouTube picked for the short, where it was talking about Foggy's death or whatever, and it's we're talking about this really fucking serious moment, but the thumbnail on YouTube is just me just fucking mid laughter. It was tragic.
And that was great. God damn. Well, homies, that's going to be all for now. We will see you guys again real soon. But until then, my name is Superhero Homie Q.
And I'm Superhero Homie Caleb.